Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Reynolds Outdoors, and this is the second video in our new series of the Reynolds vlog. Last week we talked about we'll really give you an update on how the industry was going and the state of our inventory, and that's really not what we want to do all the time with those videos. It's not really an update, it's just us more having a conversation about loosely on certain products that we have in the store, maybe certain talking points. So again, like I said in the last one, if you have any ideas or if you have anything you want to hear, a discussion about, please let us know in the comments. But today we were very low on holsters and we got a huge shipment in today, so I figured we'd talk about what we have, and that's a lot of holsters right now. So we still had to bring our own guns to show because we don't have any Glocks at all. So we brought our own to kind of showcase, and we wore our Glock shirts. We didn't plan that, so yeah. So I guess I'll start down here. This is one we carry, and this is one of my personal holsters. This is the Black Hawk Omnivore. This is actually a light bearing holster, and it works with the TLR-1HL, which is what I have here. Cleared all the guns prior to this video, so safety first. So yeah, it has retention on it retains the light, so the locking mechanism actually holds the light in there. So with this holster, it holds, I believe, upwards of, I think it says in the box, 150 guns. So if you have an accessory rail on your handgun and you can hook a TLR-1HL up to it, it will work in this holster. And it has a locking button there, and it's your thumb, not the trigger finger, which is what the old Serpas had, and that's kind of I really don't recommend those anymore. So this is a much safer design, and with lights becoming more popular and hard to find holsters, Black Hawk had a great idea to do the Omnivore that gives you kind of the ability to work it with hundreds of holsters, so or guns. Now, Seth,
will the Omnivore, they are light specific, correct? Like that one's only working for the Streamlight, right?
Yeah, that one works with the TLR-1HL, and I believe we're out of stock on those right now, but we do have, I believe, a couple for the Surefire X300s and maybe one or two other brands, but I know we got a Surefire, and we are out of the TLR-1HLs, and we'll get those back in stock as soon as possible. So again, like I said in the last video, it is August 2020. The industry's just in a mess, so please bear with us. We're trying our best to get our inventory back up. So I'll let you introduce the next one.
Yeah, so the next one, we can jump in. So we had a outside the waistband. We can start an inside the waistband. This one right here, this one fits in the Glock 19s, so it fit more of a Penix style carry. Now, me personally, I wanted to be an appendix carry guy. I liked having the control of the gun being right there in front of you at all times. I like the idea of that, but I'm not a skinny guy. I've got a little bit of meat around the edges, if you will. So all day, some guys that might be even bigger carry appendix no problem. I'm not somebody who's figured that out yet. I've tried it. I've tried this holster. I personally carry a G-Code Incog. Gun is clear. Safety first. That's what I carry. It was meant to be an appendix carry, but I carry here on my side, and that's what works for me. So I'm just, I've worked with that, and it's been comfortable for me. I'm able to conceal it very, very well. Seth carries appendix. Typically, don't you carry when you're concealed carrying?
Yep.
Yeah. So it fits just fine. The 19 is a very popular option as well for an appendix carry. And with appendix, one good thing about that is if you have it right here in your middle, you could carry a Glock 17 full size, a lot of full size pistols, and conceal them fairly well, just because that handle, it's all within your center mass right there concealed. So it wouldn't be a problem carrying a bigger pistol if you appendix. Now for me, if I was carrying on the side, when you're getting into some of those full size pistols, it's going to show a little more because it's going to stick outside your body, protruding from your shirt. So your print's going to be a little worse. Now, like I said, if I could comfortably appendix carry, if I can find a holster that's going to do that for me one day, I will gladly switch to appendix. I'm just not there yet. I haven't found that yet, but you might want to touch on that as well.
So the pen, yeah, and sometimes I will carry. I actually have one of these. We have them in tan, FDE, and all we have. Well, right now all we have is black, but I have one of these same models, but in an FDE color, and I'll wear it just to work to show people, hey, you know, I wear different holsters maybe, and if we're getting a lot of concealed carry customers in or buying concealed carry handguns for the first time, they'll say, well, how do you carry, or what do you, you know, they always like to ask us what we like to, how we carry, and whether we prefer outside, inside, and I mix it up. And if I'm wearing this inside, a lot of people freak out and they say, well, you carry appendix, and doesn't that scare you? And that's the big, there's controversy around, like anything on the internet, you know, any subculture, gun culture, anything, there's going to be people saying that's not safe, you shouldn't do that, and there's pros and cons to anything. So I'm never going to recommend to do anything not safe, but I do highly recommend, if you are going to carry appendix, if you're going to carry period, it doesn't matter if you don't get training, you know, it's all for naught. I highly recommend training. So you can carry 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, which I highly do not recommend doing that. But if you don't train with it, it's, you know, that's just not safe. That's not good. You have to get the training. So some negatives, people opt for the obvious reasons, carrying it in the front, appendix style. A lot of people, I don't know if you can see that, the counter's kind of tall. The obvious thing is, well, if you have a negligent discharge, there's a lot more to damage, and it could be a lot more fatal. And I don't want to get too graphic and trip up the YouTube algorithm here, but there's more. The cons outweigh the pros to a lot of people carrying appendix versus 4 o'clock, where if there's a negligent discharge, you know, there's not as much to injure, or, you know, it's not as considered to be as fatal. But again, it's your preference. 4 o'clock's fine. Appendix, if you train in, you know, trigger finger discipline. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but for the most part, the most popular thing right now, what we're seeing is appendix carry. More people are getting the training and drawing, you know, dry fire. I always encourage customers, hey, clear your gun and do some drills, dry firing from your holster. Practice clearing your garment and pulling your gun up if you're going to carry an appendix. So definitely get training and be safe, because you can, I mean, accidents can happen with anything, but as long as you get that good training and get reps in, get that muscle memory, you're less likely to have a catastrophic failure or disaster. So I'm not trying to get off too far in the weeds into safety, but I'll always find a way to incorporate safety and training into any of our videos. So pretty much I think that pretty much covers everything on the appendix, or the inside the waistband for the double stack.
Yeah.
And we also have these for the 43Xs, for the SIG 365s, and I believe we have some Taurus models as well, and the shields. So we did get those back in stock today. Here it is, August. So I mean, in a couple days, who knows? We may sell out of them. Holsters, like everything else, selling like crazy. And also, this is the 43X. That's good retention. We got these Kydex Extra Mag. This is for the 43, and 43X works with either one of them. The 43X the mag seems a little bit tighter. Didn't you say your 43 fits a little bit?
Yeah, my 43 mag, I mean, it seemed to slip in there just fine. Yeah, I mean, it's perfect, really. I mean, it's nothing too much there, but it's just enough where it's going to hold it in fine. But
it really holds this.
Yeah,
43X, it's got some pretty strong retention on there, but you can loosen the screws up a little bit to toggle with the amount of retention you want. So we covered, and also this is another one of my holsters I carry sometimes with the 43X. Again, we don't have any of these in stock. Had to bring our own toys from home to play with. So again, that's a good locking retention there. This outside the waistband, if I'll wear it, you know, just mix it up. Some days I like to be inside, but it is more comfortable standing 9 hours a day with something outside the waist. Yeah. And while we're talking about inside outside versus, you know, a common question we get a lot is, do you carry outside of the store, or what do you prefer? And that's probably the number 1 question with first time concealed carry buyers or handgun buyers, like, because Alabama is an open carry state. But me personally, I only carry outside here in the store, and I like to do I subscribe to the gray man, theory or method of carrying. I don't like to showcase out in the public that I have a gun. I try to conceal it as best as possible. That is why I carry appendix. And I carried a 19 for a long time, and that was before I got the 43X. And it just seemed to print less when I carried appendix. I carried it at the 4 o'clock for a while, and it just showed up too much. It printed too much in my shirt. So, any thoughts you want to add to outside, inside, or what do you carry?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel a disadvantage if I'm open carrying, walking around. I mean, you're kind of walking around with a target on your back. Now, it's not, if you want to walk around open carry, more freedom to you, more power to you. This is America, so do what you want. But I would feel safer just for me concealing it. I don't want people to know I've got it. I feel like I'm more of the advantage if I have it concealed. No one knows I've got it. I can wield it at my will here. But for me, I'm only going to open carry either here at the shop, if I'm out kind of the hunt land messing around. But other than that, I'm never going to intentionally leave the house just to walk around open carry. It's just, I don't see many pros outweighing the cons of it for me.
A lot of people like to say, and I'll hear debates in the store where people, well, what if you could deter crime, or you could deter something happening out in public if you were at Sam's and somebody saw you carrying. My thing is, if somebody has already made the decision to carry out some kind of terrible act like that in public, and they notice you, I don't know if that's going to give them a change of heart. I wouldn't count on that giving them a change of heart. I would bet on them, focusing on you first.
You're the first one getting shot.
So yeah, that's kind of, I just would rather blend in with everybody else. Along with the gray man, ways, I don't put stickers on my truck and that say, "Hey, I got guns in here." So, but hey, I'm not telling you what to do. That's how I, whether it's carrying on my person or in the store we'll wear guns outside. I mean it's a gun store, so I don't figure we're offending too many people. But yeah, we do like to all open carry. Most of us do open carry, and but when we leave here, if I have to go in the store or anywhere else outside here, I can just throw my shirt over it and walk in, no problem. So,
exactly. Yeah.
All right. So we don't, man. I don't have any talking points. We want to keep this as natural as possible. So I'm trying to keep it reeled in and not get too far off in the weeds. So this holster here, and this we have others. I just didn't want this to be a 30-minute video. So. This is the Kydex, this is for the 43 or 43X. This is their Kydex leather backed holster. So this one is interesting. It has tabs on it. You can carry outside the waist if you'd like, or you can carry appendix inside, and it's got hooks, these J hooks on here to where you can tuck your shirt in, and I'll go ahead and show you. So it's got a good snap and good retention there, and you also have a spot for your extra magazine, which is nice. So, and that's kind of it looks like, yeah, they kind of are knocking off TRX Arms sidecar, and there's other companies making them as well too. So, but if you wanted an option where you didn't want to have to carry the extra mag separate, or you wanted to conceal your magazine as well, this is an excellent option. It is a little bit more, it takes up a little bit more real estate, and it is a little bit more challenging to carry. But if you want the ultimate carry holster to have extra magazines, this is a good deal here. It's worth checking out. And
that is something to think about on that specific holster, as far as ones that have the sidecar on it. If you're new to carrying, if you're just now wanting to get into it or start carrying a firearm, I don't know if I'd jump right into the sidecar holster. A lot of people, they'll try to get one of these nice custom-made holsters, wait 6 weeks to get one, it's got the sidecar, a whole 9 yards, but then they realize it's taking up a ton of real estate on your waist. You're not used to carrying at all, so now when you just jump in the deep end like that, you're going to end up throwing it away and probably not even carrying for a while because you're so annoyed with that. So I definitely would, I'd push somebody to start with something simpler that doesn't have the sidecar and kind of move into that just to get used to it, because it is a lot. It's a large holster. So.
That's a good point. And also, I can't believe it. I didn't bring any belts over here, but I do have on and we can get, well, normally we can get these. We've carried them before, the Magpul Tejas belt. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a very, it's got leather and I believe Teflon backing. And then we also carry the Tagua brand, their gun belts. We have a decent amount in stock right now, several different sizes, 30s and 40s and all that. So, and I have worn the Tagua brand, but my favorite probably I have to say is the Magpul Tejas. It's a very, very thick, I mean, you can stand it up in the corner when you first buy one. They're very substantial. You can just about stand on one and it not lose form. So you want a good belt to carry with. That's something that's huge. A lot of people try to use the same flimsy belt they've been wearing for forever and ever. If anyone like me, you'll wear a belt for years before you throw it away. And it's definitely, that's something another crucial piece of gear when concealed carrying is you got to keep in mind what belt you're going to use. So
that's your foundation.
Yep.
That's holding everything together. So
yep. So you don't want it flop, because if you got a flimsy belt, that gun's gonna be flopping around. It's not gonna be comfortable. It's not gonna be fun, and potentially lose your gun or whatever. Something bad. So, did you touch on the Blackhawk?
I have not yet. So this right here is the Blackhawks. Is their T series. It's one of their newer holsters. It is an outside the waistband. What they've done with this one, so it is different from the Serpa in that the original Serpas, they had the little finger bar right there, so to press it in. Not too many good reviews out of those. I don't know if you have any stories on those or not, Seth, but
well, I'm sure everybody's seen the famous video of, I can't remember the guy's name, YouTuber. Just YouTube guy shoots himself at random. No, I shouldn't say that. But there was a guy who had a bad incident with a Serpa holster, and it kind of turned a lot of people off. Now, some will argue maybe he was being unsafe and this and that, but again, it goes back to that, somewhat people saying that he was carrying at the 4 o'clock and he drew, and some blame the holster, some blame him, but he was training to be faster and using live rounds, and he had an accident. He's all right, he's fine. I mean, but then people bring up the argument, well, if he had been doing that, from the appendix, it could have been even worse. So that's what people like to argue against, the appendix carry. So, but I more or less blame, or actually I really blame, I don't know if he was being more unsafe with that holster system. The way you would the position of your finger to release the gun from the Serpas was just not ideal. Now a lot of people say, well, look, a lot of people demonstrate online that they can draw it quickly and fast, but there's been that incident and others that and also the old design, the old Serpas, you get any kind of debris in that button, locks the gun down. And there are videos showcasing people ripping the holster and everything off of the harness, the drop leg harness, and just basically having to break the holster off of the gun. So I definitely like that they've added the release right here where your thumb hits it, and that's the Safariland, the ALS system. That's kind of very similar to what Blackhawk did with this one. It's very similar to the ALS. This holster is not as robust, or I don't consider the on-war. I should have touched on this earlier. I don't consider this to be a heavy duty holster as far as the duty use for law enforcement, military. It's good for just standing in a gun store for 9 hours or going to the range, and you got a new gun, but there's not a lot of holsters out there, and you got a light and you want to try it out and you want to go wear it at the range and use it and shoot it and train with it. So this is a good one for that. I do not recommend this for hardcore duty use. But most of you that are doing that kind of stuff already know that. So or you've got a Safariland with an ALS system on it. So yeah, I like what they've done with this model. The system that locks it to your belt seems very sturdy. I like it better than the old paddle design or the belt loop design, this has the belt loop design. This opens up and has that locking mechanism, and it locks in there. It's tight. I tried one of them on, and I jumped around a little bit, pulled on the gun, and it seems pretty sturdy. So we just got them. We haven't I haven't heard any feedback from customers yet. None of us have taken out and shot it, trained with them, or ran them through the paces. So this is really just a preview, not a review of this holster. So but just know that we do have them in stock, and like, there's a lot of people were looking for something else other than the circle design, because not a lot of people want to mess with them anymore after seeing the reviews online.
And one other plus of the Blackhawk, also, if you're running any type of red dot or have your sights cut up in the front like a lot of guys are doing now, this whole section is open. So any type of like the aim point acros, which are huge, or the Trigger Gun SROs, which are a little bit larger, any of the larger optics, I mean, heck, you could probably fit an aim point T1 on there. It's cut out, so it's going to fit it right there. So if you're thinking about running a red dot, definitely another awesome option there. So
yeah. Well, I think to keep this video from going 30 minutes, I guess we ought to wrap it up. So I don't have any leather holsters out here. We got a ton of leather holsters in stock as well, but the most popular material now is Kydex for holsters. Especially the younger cats like the Kydex, the tactical guys and gals. So, but we do have a ton of awesome leather holsters. I'm not against them. I have them. I got one for my 686, 1911. I love the leather holsters for those guns. Keeps them, doesn't mar up the finish and all that stuff. It gives them nice and protected. So, but as far as inside the waist carry with a leather, I don't subscribe to that. I don't like it, and that reminds me another thing of why I like Kydex holsters. If you draw and you need to draw your gun, 19, and if you draw your gun from your holster, and you want to go to re-index it or reholster your weapon, it holds form. With a leather soft material, whatever, neoprene, you're going to have to sit there, and that becomes unsafe. I do not like that. I don't, but if you absolutely cannot swing a Kydex, then I recommend a leather, but I encourage you to at least try something that holds form when you draw. So if you need, reholstering your gun, it's a much safer system. And you're not, if you sweat, you're out in the heat, it's hot right now, if you're outside, you're going to sweat. Leather gets wet and loses its, gets kind of soft and soggy. It's happened. I've seen incidents. I've seen pictures of people that carried the soft leather holsters, and they went to grab the gun and had a terrible accident. Kydex, you don't have to worry about that. It's not going to lose form. It's going to keep that trigger guard covered and help prevent those types of accidents. So I hope I'm not leaving anything out. It keeps coming to me as I'm trying to wrap the video up. I keep getting more talking points in my head. So anything else you want to add to this conversation?
I think we about hit it. You hit on the leather thing real quick. That is big, especially if you're carrying Glocks or a gun that just has a trigger safety, not a manual safety on it. Mm-hmm. If that leather molds in that trigger housing, that ain't good. That's where issues can come quickly. So definitely something to be aware of. I think we've covered most of the mainstream holsters or designs, essentially as far as inside the waistband, outside the waistband, little sidecars here. I think we've hit pretty good stuff here. Yep.
So I know that was probably like drinking from a fire hose right there. We've just kind of wanted to throw some holsters out, and because we just got it back in stock today, we're like, man, we got to get a video out and let everybody know we got holsters, because we've been selling out of handguns, and right now they're still in high demand. We were getting guns in, but we weren't getting any holsters. It was crazy, but so we do have them in stock. And if you're in the market, and if you've just recently purchased a firearm from us and we didn't have the Kydex holster you were looking for, or whatever particular holster you were looking for, reach out to us and see if we got that one in. But rest assured, we got 43Xs, 19s, 17s. We got 1911 Kydex holsters. I bulked up on air. I said, just send me everything. When the rep came in, I said, just send it all. We need it. We need everything. So, and add more to it. So, all right, guys. I hope you liked this content. Hope we weren't babbling and running around in circles too much. But Again, if you got any questions or want for future topics you'd like to see us or hear us talk about, please leave us a comment below. And as always, I'll leave our store number in there and everything, so you can reach out to us if you got further questions about our inventory. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.